Hello poets of grade 8, this is Asma Saeed. Welcome to a new poetry lesson. Inshallah, today we are going to talk about Our Captain, My Captain. That's a poem by Walt Whitman. Right? In this poem, it calls our attention to the poet's use of figurative language. If you can't remember what do you mean by figurative language, please check the previous video to keep on the same track. Before I start, I need to learn more about the poet. Why it's important to learn about the author of any writing? Because I can learn a lot about his style and the main messages that he tries to convey throughout his writing. Now, Walt Whitman worked as a printer, teacher, journalist before publishing Leaves of Grass. So that's his breaking point. Now, his poem focuses on what? American life. When? During the 19th century. Idealizing both its leaders and working citizens, giving narrative accounts of the Civil War battles, and celebrating industry and innovation. Whitman was greatly influenced by the time he spent visiting and caring for wounded soldiers, injured ones during the Civil War. He wrote about soldiers. Now, what about the poem itself? I can see this Abraham Lincoln. Walt Whitman wrote the poem "Oh Captain, My Captain" in 1865, following the assassination, the killing of President Abraham Lincoln. It's an elegy. What's the meaning of elegy here? That's a mourning poem. What do you mean by mourning poem? It means that he honors the president who successfully led the nation throughout 4 years of civil war. We will learn a lot about this when we go through. The term captain here refers to Lincoln. The ship here refers to or represents America, which braved the grim storms of war and at last entered the safe harbor of peace. Okay, I need to take a snapshot of this because that's a summary for the whole lesson. Keep this in mind while reading the poem.
Oh Captain, my Captain, Walt Whitman. Oh Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done. The ship has weathered every rack, the prize we sought is won. The port is near, the bells I hear, the people all exulting, while follow eyes the steady keel, the vessel grim and daring. But oh heart, 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 oh the bleeding drops of red, where on the deck my captain lies, fallen cold and dead.
I know enough to turn you inside out, old gal. You soft, dodging old man!
Sic semper tyrannis!
Shocking, wasn't it? Let's continue reading the poem.
Captain, my captain, rise up and hear the bells. Rise up, for you the flag is flung, for you the bugle trills, for you bouquets and ribboned wreaths, for you the shores are crowding, for you they call, the swaying mass, their eager faces turning. Dear captain, dear father, this arm beneath your head, it is some dream that on the deck you've fallen cold and dead. My captain does not answer. His lips are pale and still. My father does not feel my arm. He has no pulse nor will. The ship is anchored safe and sound, its voyage closed and done. From fearful trip the victor ship comes in with object won. Exult, O shores, and ring, O bells. But I with mournful tread the deck my captain lies, fallen cold and dead.
It's sad, isn't it? I feel that as if I'm about to cry over the death of someone. Okay? That's the main point here. It reminds me of something I have heard before. طب let's read the poem again, okay? And try to remember, where did you hear such tune before?
O Captain, my captain, Walt Whitman. O Captain, my captain, our fearful trip is done. The ship has weathered every rack, the prize we sought is won. The port is near, the bells I hear, the people all exulting, while follow eyes the steady keel, the vessel grim and daring. But oh, heart, 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 oh, the bleeding drops of red, where on the deck my captain lies, fallen cold and dead. O Captain, my captain, rise up and hear the bells. Rise up, for you the flag is flung, for you the bugle trills, for you bouquets and ribboned wreaths, for you the shores are crowding, for you they call, the swaying mass, their eager faces turning. Dear Captain, dear Father, this arm beneath your head, it is some dream that on the deck you've fallen cold and dead. My captain does not answer. His lips are pale and still. My father does not feel my arm. He has no pulse nor will. The ship is anchored safe and sound, its voyage closed and done. From fearful trip the victor ship comes in with object won. Exult, O shores, and ring. Full tread. Walk the deck, my captain lies.
So that's what do we mean by elegy, a morning poem. Alright? Sorry for the example, yet I have tried to find something familiar to you. What did I do here? It's something that one of the literary techniques that we use to familiarize the audience with the topic. Come on, you remember? Using a famous character, famous book, famous movie. Oh, it's an allusion, okay? So that's what they mean by elegy, a morning poem. Now you have got the theme, you have got the main idea, okay? Let's just start analyzing. Oh, captain, my captain. Okay, let's determine meanings of words and phrases. From lines 1 to 3, Whitman uses both metaphor and extended metaphor in this poem. Okay, what do you mean if you can't remember? A metaphor is a comparison between two things, okay, basically unalike but have some qualities in common. A metaphor does not contain the words like or as. An extended metaphor compares two essentially unlike things at some length and in several ways. Alright, let's give examples. Like here in this example, oh captain, my captain, our fearful trip is done. Okay, infer who is the captain and what the fearful trip refers to. Okay, if you remember the last slide, you can tell. Of course, the captain here symbolizes or stands for Abraham Lincoln, and the trip demonstrates the Civil War. Impressive, isn't it? Let's move to the next slide. The word captain here, what does it literally mean? It's a person in command of a ship, okay, who runs the ship. That's a metaphor for what? We have said it, Abraham Lincoln. Okay, where is it mentioned? Where on the deck my captain lies, falling cold and dead. Now, if you're going to use captain in everyday life, it will stand for what? Come on. Like for example, if you say, in life, I am captain of my own ship. I am in command. I run my own life. Okay? Let's move to next word, port. What does it literally mean? A town or a city along a coast where ships can load and unload people and goods and find safe haven from storms at sea. So port here, that's a reference to what? Haven. Okay, so it's a metaphor for what? Victory and peace for the nation. Which lines are they mentioned in? The port is near. Now if you're going to use it in your own life, moving from one town to town, Mike was a sailor, always seeking a new port. Okay, that's an expression, we can use it in our everyday life. Okay, it means that this one hasn't been settled yet, hasn't found peace yet. Okay, so let's move to the next one, prize. Okay, the definition, dictionary meaning, something very important that someone has tried to get or has fought for. Right? It's a metaphor for preservation of the union. It means that they need to keep the union safe. If you are familiar with the American history, you will know that the North with the South. Okay, North represents the union. The prize we sought is won. Sought here, that's the past of seek. Now, if we're going to use it in everyday metaphor, for Jenna, just finishing the 10-mile race was prize enough. Yes, yes. For me, it would be enough. I don't want a trophy at the end. All right. The last word is ship. Okay. The literal definition says it's a large boat or vessel used to carry people and goods a long distance. Here in the poem stands for what? The nation, the United States of America. Okay, all American people. US, America itself. Now, where it is mentioned, the ship had weathered every wreck. If you're using ship in your own or everyday life, it will stands or signifies what? My hopes were a storm-wrecked ship, sinking beneath the waves. Alright, so ship here stands for what? Stands for your life, and stands for his or her hopes. Okay? They are wrecked means they are destroyed after a strong storm. Sinking means drowning under the water. Okay, it means that this man or that woman became hopeless. Okay, now let's move to the language. Language, my language, I need the grammatical use of the language, the syntax, the sentence structure, everything. Like here, let's focus on the title. Oh Captain, my Captain. Here, the exclamation points in the title are meant to show what? Come on. We use exclamation to show what? Wow, amazing, hey you. Strong emotions, perhaps a shock or grief. Grief means sadness. What feeling or idea the possessive pronoun my conveys? When I say my captain, my father. Now the speaker is what? Loyal to and the love for the president. Now the speaker's loyalty, it means that he is devoted. He likes him a lot. He will do everything for his captain. Alright. Let's continue. From line 5 to 9, poets do not always use conventional word order to express the idea. It means that they do not start it with subject, and verb. Okay, why did you do why does the poet do this? They may rearrange the elements of the sentence to create a particular sound or draw attention to a word or a phrase. To draw more our attention, because if you use the regular order, we will keep reading without stopping. Okay, this is the part, let's listen to it. The port is near, the bells are here, the people are exulting, while follow eyes the steady keel, the vessel calm and daring. But oh heart, 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 oh the bleeding drops of bread, where on the deck my captain lies, falling cold and dead. Okay, look here. While follow eyes the steady keel. Here he says, let's reword the lines, let's reword them, and let's arrange them to help to identify the subject. Okay, while eyes follow the steady keel. Okay, so here eyes, that's the subject, the action, and that's the action. And the keel here represents what? What do you mean by keel? It's part of the ship. What is it? What does it do? It's the flat plate that extends, means goes into water from a sailing ship's bottom to keep the ship upright and steady in a strong wind. Okay, again, now Abraham Lincoln did a lot for his country, for keeping it steady and strong. Amazing. And let's go deep. Oh Captain, My Captain is an elegy, a poem that offers contribute to someone who has died. Okay, now Whitman contrasts sorrow with joy. Sorrow, of course, over the death of his beloved president Abraham, and the joy of people surrounding the great achievement, okay, of the president. Now, I need you to identify words and the phrases that evoke sorrow or joy and describe the effect on the reader. Okay? Have a moment. Read the poem again. Of course, it's on page 199. One. You can pause the video, take your time, and come back to check the answers. Alright. Prize we sought is won, and people all exulting. Now, gives the feeling of what? Excitement. We win. Which is quickly what? Overshadowed by the sadness in falling cold and death. Okay, now the contrast here, what does it do? It makes the poem more emotionally powerful. Now he directs our emotion, shifting between sorrow and sadness, sorrow and joy at the same time. It's extremely powerful. Now, most elegies use formal, dignified language and are serious in tone. Tone means the writer's attitude towards his subject. What does he think about the subject? Of course, we have learned that he admires the presidents a lot. And elegies may also express. Pay attention to the following 3 points. Sorrow and grief, we have established this over the death of President Abraham Lincoln. Praise for the person who has died. Okay, it means that mentioning all of his personal qualities. Comfort, thoughts or ideas. Comforting. Okay, it means that you need to like lullaby your own self. It means that you say you console your own self. Okay. Alright, let's focus on the first 2 stanzas. What does he do? Whitman expresses his dismay at the death of his captain, and it's extremely represented throughout the metaphor and extended metaphor. Okay, what about the last two stanzas? Let's get back to the poem. Try to figure. Take your time reading it again. Okay, you can pause the video. Try to figure out what do the third and the last stanza focus on. Okay, in the third stanza he continues to mourn that the captain will not receive the recognition that is due. Recognition, it means that people will not celebrate the captain who has led them to victory. Okay, so he's dead now. The last stanza, Whitman celebrates him as not just a leader but as a father of a nation. Okay, like now he's trying to console himself and say that everything is fine. He is our father. He is the father. He is the president. He is the captain that led us to peace. Now let's talk about the style. The style is the manner or how something is said rather than what is said. How? Okay, does it feel like it's a song or a poem that's meant to be sung, or does it include a lot of sound devices? No. Does it have a rhyming scheme at the end? The very fat cat sat on the mat? No, we don't have that kind of rhyming scheme. Walter Whitman is considered one of the most influential American poets, known for unconventional use of language and for his focus on political and current events. Alhamdulillah, we have already said this once we talked about the poet. Okay, so Whitman often refers to as the father of free verse. It means that he writes whatever comes into his mind without minding sound devices a lot, okay, without having a rhythm or a rhyming scheme. Now, what do you mean free verse again? The exact definition is a poetry that does not contain regular patterns of rhythm or a rhyme. Okay? Now, he uses other poetic devices such as metaphor. We have established this. We said what the meaning of metaphor, alliteration, and repetition. I guess that you are familiar with alliteration and repetition, but I have the next slides to remind you of words and phrases. Why? To emphasize, to focus on emotion and meaning. Okay, so his poem include long lines. Long lines, it means that the meter or the repeated pattern of rhythm imitates natural speech. Natural speech means as we speak. Alright, here. The port is near, the bells I hear, with the people all exulting. While follow eyes the steady keel, the vessel prim and daring. But oh heart, 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 oh the pleading drops of red, where on the deck my captain lies, falling cold and dead. Okay, I don't have a regular rhyme scheme. It feels that as if he's narrating what is happening. Now, let's have a quick rhythm. It means that's the beat created by the sound of the words in the poem. Rhythm can be created by meter, okay, or rhyme scheme, alliteration, assonance, and refrain. Okay, let's focus on the rhythm, like here. These are the witch's words from Macbeth by William Shakespeare. Double, double toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Okay, you as if that's the rhythm. Okay, the beat, like rhyming, like rapping. Alliteration, repetition of initial consonant sound in words, okay, within the same line. For example, like Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, Tiny Tim, Mickey Mouse, Peter Parker, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, okay. Tigers, tigers, Tim, the terrifying tiger, tiptoed through tangled trees, his twitching tail humming, his terrible teeth terrifying turtles who tumble away. Okay? So repetition of t t t t t. It resembles tigers. Okay, the repetition. Repeat the same word, phrase, or sentence or stanza for effect. Like here, the chorus or the refrain in any song. Alright. How Not to Have to Dry the Dishes by Shel Silverstein. Okay? If you have to dry the dishes, such an awful boring chore. If you have to dry the dishes, instead of going to the shore. If you have to dry the dishes and you drop one on the floor, maybe they won't let you dry the dishes anymore. Notice the sentences in red, okay? They are repeated because she wants to avoid drying the dishes, okay? One of the house chores. Don't do this. Don't say that teacher Asma gave us an idea to escape housework chores. Okay, now let's move to analyzing the text, okay? Now we need to cite the textual evidence to support your responses or your answers. The first question says, I need you to tell me your own interpretation. Read lines from 1 to 3. In Whitman's metaphor, what is the fearful trip, the shape, the prize, and that was won? And what is the plot? Of course, these questions are meant to test our understanding, okay? Fearful trip here stands for what? Civil War. Ship, United States. Prize, preservation of the Union. Port, peace after war. Okay? Now we have established this when we talked about the meaning and the metaphor of the vocabulary. Okay, now you need to examine 3 to 13. Describe the grand celebration that Whitman tells about in these lines. Why are the crowd rejoicing? Why are they happy? Read the lines. Okay, people are exulting. It means that they are ringing bells, waving flags, and playing horns. The crowds have brought flowers and wreath for Lincoln. Why? Because they are celebrating the end of the Civil War. The next question. When there is a contrast between appearance and reality, it means that appearance means what it's shown to people. Reality, what's it's deep inside. Irony results. The irony, it means that when destiny laughs at you or when there is a contrast or contradiction. Why it is ironic that crowds are celebrating in this poem? Because of what? Because here the readers would expect that the people to be sad, because that's an elegy. They mourn the death of the President Lincoln. But here the people are celebrating the end of the Civil War. They are sad over his death, yet they are rejoicing over winning the war. Okay, so here, that's an irony. How does Whitman express his own grief about Lincoln's death? Come on. Here, he says, he cries, but a heart upon learning of his death. He calls to Lincoln to rise up, come on, wake up from death and speak of his passing as some dream. Okay? He tries to pretend that he is just asleep. Then he started to, he was in denial phase. Then he grabs back and realizes that he is dead. In the last stanza, he cannot join celebrating the end of the war because Lincoln has died. Because he says here, but I with mournful treat. I mean that people exalt, go celebrate. I will stay mourning my father. Okay, let's move to the next part. What is the meaning of these lines in terms of Whitman's extended metaphor? Okay. Here though, the United States has survived the Civil War and is now safe and sound, its leader is dead. Okay, my captain does not answer, his lips are pale and still. My father does not feel my arm, he has no pulse nor will. The ship anchored safe and sound, its voyage closed and done. Alright? The president is dead, United States is safe. Now, here it means that the mission of preserving the Union has been accomplished. Now, alhamdulillah, he has fulfilled his mission. Now, the poet's style is using imagery. We have learned in writing what do you mean by imagery, and even in reading literature. Imagery use words or phrases that appeals to your senses. It means that I need to hear, see, smell, taste, and touch. Now, I need you to give me 2 examples of how imagery is used and to describe the dead captain in the last stanza of "O Captain, My Captain." You can go back to the text. Okay, pause the video. Now the first one, the speaker here uses the sense of what hearing by saying, my captain does not answer, he cannot hear it. It means that's reference to silence. Next one, he said, he used sense of sight when he says lips are pale and still. Pale, that's a color. Still, it means that they don't move, so he cannot spot anything. Now he goes to sense of touch by saying does not feel my arm. Okay, has no pulse, because these require touching, require using hands to sense any kind of movement. Right? Amazing use of imagery. When I read those lines, I felt that as if I'm holding a dead person in my hands or in my arms. It's a very strong, powerful picture. Okay, let's conclude. Let's end it. What evidence in the poem suggests how speakers feel about the crowd's action in the final stanza of the poem? Did he say that, what you're doing? This is wrong, the captain is dead. What are you celebrating for? Or did he just leave them to celebrate and mourn the death of the captain? Come on. Do you remember how did he react? He says, he feels that the crowd's celebration are necessary. Come on, it's important to celebrate. Why? Why is it important to celebrate the winning of Civil War? Because that was the captain's mission. That was the president's mission. And he has fulfilled the mission and brought America to safety. He tells the people to keep on celebrating, exalt all shores and ring all bells. Okay? While he or she, of course in this case because we're talking about Whitman, we're going to choose he, stays with the dead captain. Okay? Now, let's test now our understanding through these ICQ questions, like a quick round. Come on, you, the first one. Yes, the one on the left. Yes, in the front desk. Come on, start with you. "O Captain, My Captain" was written just after the end of the Civil War. The speaker's description of Captain who dies most likely refers to Abraham Lincoln, Walt Whitman, Jefferson Davis, or Robert E. Lee. The two names are mentioned here are what? Abraham Lincoln, the president, and Walt Whitman, the poet. Which one? Ding ding ding. Of course, Abraham Lincoln. Let's move to the next one. The use of phrase "my captain" in the title and throughout the poem suggests that the speaker wants to be in charge of the ship, he wants to be the captain, or the speaker feels very loyal to the captain, has a military background, it means that he's a soldier or a sailor, or is the only one with the captain. Come on, he says "my captain." We have spoken about this before, that it refers to loyalty. Yes, he is loyal to the captain. He loves him, he admires him, he's loyal, devoted to him. Number 3. Which phrase suggests that the captain has survived a difficult situation? The captain, talking about the captain. The prize we sought. The prize we sought is a past of seek, like he got the prize at the end of the war. Or "oh captain, our fearful trip, the bells are here." Survive means to stay alive through difficulty. So, which one of these choices refers to difficulty? Of course, our fearful trip is done. Now, the speaker says that the captain's death is some dream because he what? Some dream. Come on. He is in a denial phase. He does not believe his eyes that the captain is lying dead. No, he's asleep, he's not dead. That's the first idea that comes into our mind whenever we see someone who does not answer us. And we presume that he's dead, but we refuse to believe that fact. Has had many dreams about the captain? No. Has only imagined that the captain is dead? It's out of his imagination? No. Realized that the captain has been sleeping? Realizing it means that's true, real? No. Okay. Wishes the captain's death were a dream? Yes. He wishes for this. Now, the repetition of the phrase "falling cold and dead" emphasizes. Now, he repeats these words to emphasize what? To focus on what? The importance of death to the speaker. Yes, he's talking about death here. The speaker's lack of feeling about death. Lack? It means that he has no feelings towards the captain? No. The insensitivity of the victory celebration. Insensitivity, it means that they are celebrating regardless of the fact that the captain is dead. He said that celebration is necessary. It's important to celebrate. The deaths of soldiers during war. He didn't speak about soldiers. That poem is meant for one person and to praise his accomplishments. Let's move to the next. What does the phrase "the prize we sought is won" refers to? What? President Lincoln's death. So the prize is death of the captain. Winning the Civil War. Oh yes. Sorry. Yes, that's the answer. Winning the Civil War. Let's move forward. You can tell the poem is an elegy because the speaker is what? Do you remember Ramadan Kausar? Describing a historical event? No. Sharing ideas about nature? Reflecting on death? Yes. Because we mourn the death of someone. One extended metaphor in the poem is the comparison of what? Journey to the ship's deck. No way, he didn't compare between these two. Captain to a ship, the captain is a ship. Or the captain to the ship. No. The captain is compared to a victory. No. or the ship to the country? Yes, because the word ship here represents what? The United States. Now, which phrase suggests that the captain caused the celebration? He is the reason for this victory. Is some dream? No, he said some dream in a denial, as in denying his death. Here, Captain, dear father? No, he's calling him to wake up and celebrate his victory. His arm beneath your head? How come? For your bouquet and weapons breath. Oh, that's a sign of celebration. Whenever we see all bouquets or flowers or weapons in celebration, like weddings, even in weddings. Okay. 21. The speaker says the ship is anchored safe and sound. Now the idea of safety is ironic here, or unexpected, because what? The crowds are trying to take over the ship? No. The crowds are celebrating. The speakers fear that the lives are in danger? No. The ship's captain lies dead on the deck? Yes. That's the answer. That's how the irony is provoked, because we expect. I'm going to read an elegy, a mournful poem about President Lincoln, and at the end we find people exulting and celebrating, rejoicing. Okay, so that's totally unexpected and it's ironic. Okay, that was the end of our lesson. If you have any questions, you can direct them to us. Please read the poem more than once or twice. Please read them a lot to understand what does it truly mean. Have a nice day. Goodbye.